Donald Trump, former president of the United States, continues to call for destruction of the current United States government. This time he did it in Waco, Texas, paying honor to a cult leader and the anniversary of one of the deadliest cult shootouts we've ever had. Let me take you to the video. Here it is.
Either the deep state destroys America or we destroy the deep state. That's the way it's got to be. We're at a very pivotal point in our country. Either we descend into a lawless abyss of open borders, rampant killings, super hyperinflation, which is what we have right now and not coming down, and festering corruption, or we evict Joe Biden and the Democrats from the White House and we make America great again.
I'm going to get into some important context that must be highlighted, but let me say this first. As I have said for many, many years now, Republicans are masters at creating a boogeyman, at giving you their selected enemy. They are masterful in the execution of creating these fictional enemies every election cycle. They find a bully. Keep in mind, Donald Trump really did not speak about a solution. He talked about what he has determined to be enemies. And the crowd goes wild. Well, this has been a winning strategy for the Republican Party. We got more. Either the deep state destroys America, he said, or we destroy the deep state. We're at a very pivotal point in our country. Before Mr. Trump took the stage, conservative rocker Ted Nugent, of all people, delivered a solo version of the Star Spangled Banner, but not before asking the crowd for the January 6th inspired moment of silence for the political prisoners of Washington, D.C., because of the jackbooted thugs in our own government, according to Nugent. And if there was any mistake, the militant message in Trump world, consider the soundtrack. The former president began his remarks with a version of the national anthem. We played that, sung by people imprisoned for the participation in the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Between these statements, Mr. Trump railed against prosecutors in Florida, Georgia, and Washington, considering unprecedented criminal charges against the former president, calling them the Department of Injustice and their local henchmen. There's more. The new weapon being used by out of control, unhinged Democrats to cheat in elections is to criminally investigate a candidate. Bad publicity and all, Trump said. I've got bad publicity, but my poll numbers have gone through the roof. Out in the crowd, supporters in Waco described a nation coming apart at the seams, where only drastic action could counter a shadowy enemy and turn things around. He is setting the stage. Heroes are not defined by themselves. Heroes are defined by the villains they defeat. When you are in a position to create your villain, you are thus in a position to create the hero. What Trump and the Conservative Party routinely will do is create the villain. They will tell you undocumented workers are coming here to commit crime. They will tell you that the main priority is building a wall. There is not a wall built that another man cannot climb over or tunnel under. They will tell you these are your enemies. Democrats are your enemies. The woke movement, your enemy. Black Lives Matter, your enemy. They will say this, submit it. And the continuation of this messaging permeates into a brand. What is a brand? A brand is a repeated message over and over and over again. They are masterful at this part. Once again, they are simply defining the villain so that they can define themselves as the hero. There's more, just some background into the Waco, Texas connection. The Waco siege was the law enforcement siege of the compound that belonged to the religious cult Branch Davidians. It was carried out by the U.S. federal government and Texas state law enforcement between February 28th, April 19th, 1993. The Branch Davidians were led by David Koresh, headquartered at the Mount Carmel Center. They keep saying the terminology deep state. Please understand what they're talking about. They're talking about the current, right now, United States government. When they wage war on the deep state, when they say we are going to have to destroy the deep state, they are talking about the American government. The deep state definition goes, a body of people, typically influential members of government agencies or the military, believed to be involved in the secret manipulation or control of government policy. There are massive agendas in DC. Government is riddled with individuals who do not operate in good faith. Bottom line is this: Donald Trump continues to spew a narrative antithetical to the normative processes of democracy. He is not being called out by those on the right. They are afraid of him. He is not truly being called out by those on the left. Biden should have a damn press conference and say, the next time you talk like that in this country, you will have significant repercussions. Donald Trump is simply a man. That is it. The Constitution provides no special protection for a former president, and that was done intentionally. If you could not get the tyrant while he had power, you get him after he has none. Still, this country has figured out a way to indict everybody up and down the equator, frivolous charges, nonviolent offenses, but they can't figure out how to indict a lawless con artist like Donald Trump. All right, Jackson, thoughts here.
It's been rather fascinating to watch the Republican establishment's inability, or maybe a better word is refusal, to truly stand up to Donald Trump in any type of meaningful way. And the reason that that's important is because we all know how they feel about him, because he's taken away the Republican establishment's ability to really guide the base in any type of meaningful way. Ron DeSantis is his biggest competition, yet he has yet to announce. There's a good chance he won't, because the laws in Florida have to be changed, or he's going to have to drop out of office. That really would not be a good career move for him. And yet, despite that fact, Donald Trump has filed a lawsuit against his campaign. He's rather effectively attacked Ron DeSantis on his record against Social Security and Medicare. And he has all the nicknames in the world for him that are rather funny. So he's just like gaming the system, just like he did in 2015, in terms of just sucking all the air out of the room. And inevitably, unless the Republicans, Democrats, whoever, find a way to throw Trump in prison or something, then he basically has already won the Republican nomination. Yeah. So that's basically what it's looking like.
Yeah, so we will continue to update, but I concur with you thus far.